Welcome to Sports Related. Here we talk about anything sports related or sports adjacent that piques our interest. I'm here with my oldest son.
Yo, what's up? I'm Caleb, Big Bloody.
All right, we all have our heroes, right? Like for me, I had two sports heroes growing up. You know what I mean? Like two men that I've never met in person. One who has passed on and one who I could still potentially meet one day. You know, life is unpredictable. I grew up a fan of a lot of guys. You know what I'm saying? Michael Jordan, Mike Tyson, every nigga that played for the Cowboys in the 90s. And that doesn't exclude white boys. Pause. When I say nigga, I'm referring to everybody.
Man, big pause. Holy.
Everybody's a nigga to me. Jay Novacek, man, that nigga was cold. But of all my sports heroes, there are two that I would literally throw hands behind. And that's Muhammad Ali and Deion Sanders. Now, I could come on here and talk about the collusion of it all. That's been discussed to exhaustion. No, instead of talking about the prejudice, let's talk about the side effects. Let's talk about what happens to those who consume this toxic cocktail of jealousy and hate. Quarterback is by far the most important position in the NFL. 10 teams in this draft either failed to properly evaluate their quarterback situation or they drank the poison. To be clear, I'm not trying to suggest that each of these teams should have drafted Shedeur in the first round. This was widely regarded as a relatively weak quarterback class. But once he fell to round two, they're all wrong, but some more than others. And we'll discuss those factors as we discuss each team. We're going to do a countdown of the 10 teams that I believe fucked up.
Before we get to that, I got a question for you. What do you think of Shedeur Sanders as a player? Do you think he has the potential to merge into the NFL and play at that level and really become an all-pro?
I do. I think he has the potential to be a franchise quarterback. Now, could I be wrong? Of course. But anybody could be wrong about any of these players. And the draft is a crapshoot. Like, he's not the most physically dynamic prospect, but I believe in Shedeur for a couple of reasons. He's faced severe adversity in college. He never had an offensive line. It started to get better here at the end, but I mean his protection was always terrible. Going through that prepares you for the next level because you're not gonna have a soft pocket every week. He had to overcome that and still make things happen, which he did. The way they turned around the Colorado program, I mean you don't do that unless you have talent. He's been a winner at every level. I believe in his pedigree. I believe in what his father's instilled in him. When you think about this, man, if you're Deion Sanders' son, you ain't got to really do shit. With the advantages that Shedeur has to still pursue this career and do the work necessary to pursue this career, which is physically taxing, I think he has something in him. And I just believe in the kid, man. Everything I've seen of him, he's never struck me as somebody who's not going to go out there and give it his all. And when we're talking about these teams specifically, none of us know what's going to happen with any of these prospects, but we know a lot of things already. And that's what we'll get into. And that's why I believe they fucked up.
Number 10, your favorite team, the San Francisco 49ers. They passed on him 6 times.
6 times. And I'll even give him a break because, like I said, I'm not saying all these teams should have drafted him in the first round. So if you didn't think he was a first round quarterback, all right, cool. That's your opinion. We'll say they passed on him 5 times, right? That's 5 too many. And the reason I'm saying this, okay, yeah, we got Brock Purdy. We've seen what happens with Brock Purdy when he doesn't have the elite of the elite, when he doesn't have a stacked roster. He has had some injury issues already, so far in his career. And I don't think that goes away necessarily. I do like Brock Purdy. I think he's a good quarterback. But I think we're at a point now where if Brock Purdy wants to be paid like a top tier quarterback, then he's no longer valuable to the franchise. So we be doing essentially what the Cowboys are doing. There's no excuse for them not to at least take a shot because we know what Brock Purdy is. Brock Purdy is an outstanding quarterback when everything's right. When everything isn't right, Brock Purdy is an average quarterback. You can win games with him, but what's the point? Like, what are we trying to ultimately do? So let's see if this kid is a type of quarterback who can overcome. Let's go ahead and draft this kid. Or, hey, maybe you can work out a $40 million contract with a $40 million per year contract with Brock Purdy and not pay him at the top of the market, bring Shedeur in and see if he can outperform him, see if he can beat him out. I just think the opportunity was too great for them not to at least sniff it out.
So number 9.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers passed on 4 times. Do you think Baker Mayfield is a Super Bowl quarterback?
I don't. I think he has the heart, but I don't think he can beat out, like a Patrick Mahomes or Jalen Hurts.
I have respect for Baker Mayfield. I think he's a good quarterback. But I think we kind of know what he is. I think there's a ceiling to Baker Mayfield. And if you're the Buccaneers and you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 opportunities to draft somebody who going into the draft you didn't think was going to be available, and you got an opportunity to bring in a quarterback who could possibly be better than Baker Mayfield. We know what Baker Mayfield is. Can Shedeur be better than Baker Mayfield? Since this is the most important position and you have guys like Josh Allen, you got to beat Joe Burrow, you got to beat Patrick Mahomes, you got to beat Jalen Hurts, you got to beat Matt Stafford. Like, these guys aren't going anywhere. Baker Mayfield doesn't stack up to those guys. Let's see if Shedeur can.
All right, number 8 on the list, Miami Dolphins. They passed on him 3 times.
Do you think Tua Tagovailoa is going to get Miami to a Super Bowl?
Honestly, I think Baker Mayfield has a better shot than Tua. I don't think so.
Which is why Tampa Bay was before Miami. Yeah. Tua is what he is. You know what I mean? If Tua is your backup, you've got one of the best backup situations in the NFL. But because he can definitely come in and win a game or 2 or 3. You know what I mean? Like, he can come in and keep the shit afloat. But if you're counting on Tua to get you there in the playoffs when you got to go up to Buffalo, he can't play in the cold. You can't win. You can't win in the playoffs with a quarterback who's undersized, injury prone, and can't play in the cold.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Let's see if Shedeur can be better than Tua. This is the most important position. Why aren't we at least taking advantage of everybody else's stupidity? If they all want to let Shedeur drop, cool. He fell to us. It's round 3, and here's a first round graded quarterback, at least on some people's boards, supposedly. Here's round 3, and he's available.
All right, the next team on the list, number 7, Deion's former team he had his famous Hall of Fame run with, the Dallas Cowboys. They passed on Shedeur 3 times.
Yeah. Do you think Dak Prescott is a Super Bowl quarterback?
Absolutely not. I think he's getting paid way too much money for
what are you doing?
What he's bringing to the table right now.
Jerry Jones, if he's good for one thing, it's for grabbing headlines. That's the one thing this motherfucker does well, is grab headlines.
He didn't grab this one. Grab this one.
You have an opportunity to draft not only a potential future franchise quarterback, but the story itself. Deion's son back home in Dallas as your quarterback. Like, how does Jerry Jones not jump all over that? Look, from a football standpoint, I don't want Shedeur in Dallas from a football standpoint, because I don't think Dallas is going to give him the proper coaching. I mean, they're obviously not. You're fucking Brian Schottenheimer. So from a football standpoint, I'm glad he's not in Dallas. But the story, oh my God, bro. Like, how do you not do that? And then I don't give a fuck what Jerry Jones says. There's no fiber in his being that believes that Dak Prescott is going to lead this team any fucking where. I think the Cowboys are trying to position themselves to get Archie's kid. I think the Cowboys are trying to position themselves to get Arch Manning in next year's draft. I think Jerry knows he's not going anywhere with Dak, and they're trying to put themselves in a position to get Arch Manning. I think a lot of these teams on this list are looking forward to next year's quarterback draft. And that may be part of why, Shedeur went through what he went through. But the opportunity was too great. Okay, so fine. You don't want to do it in round 1. You want to take your guard from Alabama. Cool. Rebuild from the inside out. I get it. But round 2, round 3, come on. He's right there. Like, how do you not do that when you know there's a ceiling with Dak? Bring him in. At least see what he can be. Worst case scenario, if he sucks, you still got Brian Schottenheimer as your head coach, so you're probably still going to have a top 5 pick next year. You can still go get Arch Manning. You can draft a quarterback in back-to-back drafts. That's something that you can do. There's a theory out there that the Cowboys would have taken him in the 4th round. But, of course, they didn't have a 4th-round pick. And, Caleb, do you know why the Cowboys didn't have a 4th-round pick?
I don't know why the Cowboys don't have a 4th-round pick. Please inform me.
The Cowboys didn't have a 4th-round pick because they wasted their 4th-round pick during the season with an in-season trade for Jonathan Mingo, wide receiver from Carolina. I don't know how anybody goes to a Cowboys game rooting for the Cowboys. I really don't know how. I don't know how that happens.
Number 6 on the list. This is the team that passed on them the most times. The Las Vegas Raiders. They passed on them 7 times.
Caleb, do you think Geno Smith is a Super Bowl quarterback?
You know what? I after his run with the Seahawks, I like him. Like I do.
Okay, I like him too. I like his story.
I
I think he's resilient. He's a good guy. He's somebody you can root for. Do you think Geno Smith is going to go head to head with Patrick Mahomes?
No,
I mean, I'm not.
no, I don't. I like to do it, but no, I don't.
What the fuck are we doing? You have Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Bo Nix, who's looking pretty good in your division. You owe it to your franchise to at least see if he's the guy.
All right, the Cleveland Browns are the 5th on the list. They passed on them 6 times.
Yeah, and I kept Cleveland on the list, even though they ended up drafting him, because they still screwed themselves by drafting another quarterback before him. You got Flacco, you got Kenny Pickett, you got Dylan Gabriel, you got Shedeur, and I guess Washington still counts, but he's injured right now. They're trying to get rid of him, whatever. So you got a full quarterback room, and now
what a guy.
And now it's just awkward. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, you got competition. You know what I mean? I believe that Shedeur will win out in that competition, but I guess it's good that you can encourage competition, but you just made a situation unnecessarily messy. I hated the messaging from their GM, after when he was talking about the pick, talking about, nothing's going to be given, everything earned. Just because he's Deion Sanders' son doesn't mean he's a fucking spoiled brat. I've never heard anything about Shedeur having a poor work ethic. No one's ever said this kid doesn't work hard. This kid doesn't study. He doesn't know what he's doing. No one's ever said that about him. You're not saying that to any of your other picks. You're not calling anybody else and saying, hey, nothing's going to be given. You got to come in here and earn it now. We drafted you, nigga, but, we don't really fuck with you like that, so you got to really come in here and show us some shit. Like, you ain't saying that to nobody else.
I don't say that to everybody?
No, it's usually like, man, we can't wait to get you in here. We saw it. We were getting nervous. We thought, so-and-so was going to take you, but, you kept following. We're excited to come in and work with you. I got your position coach right here. Here's the linebacker coach. Hey, man, we had a great visit with you. I wanted to work with you. I'm happy to get you in the building, man. We're going to get you going. There's typically excitement when they're making those calls to those rookies. I mean, you're being drafted to the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're excited. They're encouraged. This was like, hey, bro, like, we gonna take you off the board, but you know what I mean? Like, we really don't fuck with you like that.
All right, number 4 on the list, the New York Giants passed on them 4 times.
Okay, so the New York Giants currently have Russell Wilson, Jameis Winston, and then they traded back into the bottom of the draft to get Jackson Dart. At least they have a guy they believe in who is debatable. You know what I'm saying? It's not ridiculous like a team that we're about to get into. I don't think Jackson Dart is a better prospect than Shedeur. But at least they can make an argument. You know what I mean? So I ain't beating them up too much. I could go harder on the Giants because I think their quarterback room is absolute boo-boo. But
it's washed.
Yeah.
All right, number 3 on the list. They passed on them 6 times. The New Orleans Saints.
Bro, so Derek Carr, basically Derek Carr's arm isn't currently attached to his body or some shit. I don't know. He got some kind of problem. He's probably might end up missing the season. They're not clear on it. He's not clear. I don't know if he still wants to be there. I don't know if they want him there, if they should want him there. But do you think Derek Carr is a Super Bowl quarterback?
No.
Okay. They drafted some old nigga, been in college for like 10 years. I don't know. He damn near 30. They drafted some old ass nigga, right? They don't have a quarterback. Now, just like I said with the Cowboys, it's the New Orleans Saints. Where did this whole Manning legacy start? With the Saints. Archie Manning played for the Saints. They would absolutely love to be in position to draft Archie's grandson and bring the whole Manning story back to New Orleans. That is 100% what they're trying to do. I don't care what nobody says. That's the plan. That's what they're trying to do. and maybe they'll succeed, and maybe it'll be a storybook ending. And then this is why I don't have them at number one, because I at least, just for the nostalgia of it, I get where they could be coming from. But I just think it's a dangerous game to play because you don't know that you're going to be in position to draft Archie. You don't know that that's going to happen.
All right, number 2 on the list, another New York team, New York Jets, passed on them 5 times.
I really like Justin Fields, Caleb. I like him. I think he's a good kid. I like his talent, but I don't think he's a Super Bowl quarterback. Do you think Justin Fields is a Super Bowl quarterback?
No, I've never been a big Justin Fields
fan. The fuck are we doing? We know what Justin Fields is. He's super athletic. He can win you some games. I like Justin Fields. Let's see if Shedeur is a better NFL quarterback. There's no logical reason to not do that. Next.
The big number 1, the one we've all been waiting for. The Pittsburgh Steelers passed on Shedeur Sanders a grand total of 3 times.
I've never been more disappointed in Mike Tomlin.
I know you're a big Mike Tomlin fan as well.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, they've been in quarterback hell for a few years now. And for whatever reason, this organization just... So what's the plan, right? You're trying to get Aaron Rodgers. Why the fuck are we fooling with Aaron Rodgers in 2025?
The big 2025, we're playing around with Aaron Rodgers.
He's doing the same shit right now that he's done everywhere else. His own time, his own schedule, no urgency. May play, may not. Might come to your team, might not. Whatever. Bro, that's why he has won Super Bowl with all that talent. He's not all in. I thought Pittsburgh was an all-in city. I thought Pittsburgh was a football city, a tough city. I thought Pittsburgh knew what leaders look like. I thought Mike Tomlin knew what leaders look like. What the fuck are we doing? Nobody's ever came out and questioned Shedeur's leadership. Ever. Nobody's ever questioned his dedication. Like I said, in order to be as good as he is, you got to work really hard. It's not just talent. You got to work hard. Quarterback is a very difficult position. You have an opportunity to bring in a kid with a hell of a pedigree, Hall of Fame father, one of the greatest athletes we've ever seen, who's instilled an incredible work ethic, who's instilled confidence, who's made sure that he knows who he is and raised him to be a man of integrity and honor. He's falling to you multiple times in the draft. But no, you want to wait around for a 40-year-old asshole who was not all in on anything but himself and whatever he feels like he needs to be on at that time. Whether it's drugs, an actress, or just some weirdo loner shit. And I'm a loner, you know what I'm saying? I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't even knocking him. I'm weird too, nigga. But I'm not an NFL quarterback. I'm not trying to command a locker room full of grown men trying to feed their families. I'm on YouTube talking shit. I can be weird. I can be a loner. I can be aloof. I can be nonchalant. Your quarterback can't be like that, man. Your quarterback's got to be all in. Your quarterback got to be a dog. He got to be the hardest working guy in the building. Your quarterback has to be a galvanizer. What are we doing, Pittsburgh? You think that after what we've seen the past couple of years, you think that this 40-year-old non-committed Aaron Rodgers, who's coming off of an Achilles injury, now granted, he's had a whole year to recover. He's played a whole year since. But still, he's 40 years old coming off an Achilles injury. You think that he's going to come in and be the difference that leads you to the promised land. And you got to play Joe Burrow. You got to play Lamar Jackson. And now, your ass got to play Shedeur. I want nothing more than for Shedeur Sanders to win out this job in Cleveland and punish Pittsburgh twice a year, every year, for 15 years. Now that he's here, I didn't want him to go to Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? I wanted Shedeur in with the Raiders or with Pittsburgh. I thought New Orleans would have been a good spot for him with Kellen Moore. But here he is. Now that he's here, I want him to succeed. And I want him to whip Pittsburgh twice a year, every year for 15 years.
Belt to ass.
Belt to ass. and Mike Tomlin, man, good luck with Aaron. In the end, they only hurt themselves. You know what I mean? You're trying to humble a man whose problem isn't humility. Shedeur doesn't have a humility problem. He's not a jerk. He's not a bad person. He doesn't mistreat people. And these anonymous sources that are coming out talking about him being dismissive in interviews, put your name on it. Come out and tell us what he did in that interview that was so dismissive. Come out and tell us what he said, how he said it. If you're gonna put it out there and affect this kid's future like this, you got to be a man and put your name on it. Think about it, bro. We've been watching these kids since they were kids when they had the little show. I've been watching Shedeur and Shiloh grow up all these years. You know what I'm saying? Being here in Dallas, they've been here in the community, and we've never heard a negative thing about them. All you did was hurt yourself. You could have had a franchise quarterback potentially. Maybe he's not. I think he is. I'm willing to bet on the Sanders. And you fucked up your opportunity. All right, man.
Perfect timing. The boys just called me.
All right. Love you, kid.
Love you too.
I came empty-handed, but I'm leaving with 3. Plus I made about a G, cause I made them tip me.